Welcome, welcome. This practice, we're going to actually work on doing kind of a Vin Yin movement. So, Vin is the vinyasa part of it, where we'll be building some heat, creating some strength, and doing some movements to just warm up the body a little bit more. And then the Yin portion of it, we're just going to be bringing it down a notch and just enjoying some restoration after our exploration from our earlier practice. So that's when we're going to hold our postures for a little bit longer and just work into getting deeper into the tissue as we hold those not difficult poses, but some relaxing poses. So for this practice, I do have two blocks handy. It is not necessary, but if you have them, it's always great to have them nearby. But we are definitely going to use that blanket or that beach towel. So make sure to have that, especially towards the end of the practice. I'm currently sitting on mine. Even a pillow or a couch cushion will work for that, what we're going to use it for at the end, or that blanket or beach towel. So let's go ahead and get started. You can come into a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. I'm in a cross-legged position, which might not feel right away. So you can always take those legs out long, have them in a V shape, or maybe even just in kneeling position. Go tall in the spine, just kind of get those wiggles out for a moment. Then we're going to bring the hands together at the heart, and let's just rub the palms together, creating heat, friction, and just taking a moment to arrive in our space. And then go ahead and take the palms to the heart center and press the palms in firmly. Bring those elbows down by the rib cage, shine that heart up, close the eyes, and just take a few breaths. Appreciating the body and appreciating taking this time to nourish the body and strengthen the body. Just a few more grounding breaths. One more communal inhale. Part the lips and exhale, let it go. Release the hands down to the legs. We're going to start with a pranayama that is a Kundalini technique. It's called breath of fire. So breath of fire is where our inhale is passive, but our exhale is very powerful. And actually, we're going to be working into the belly. So let's just take our hands to the belly for a moment, and we're going to practice this breath of fire a few times. So our inhale, we just do a light little inhale, and our exhale, we puff it out, or we pull in that belly button towards the spine and kind of snap it in. So it's, and you can feel that belly really kind of snap in with each one of our exhales. It's kind of like a dog panting, so you can even try that for a moment just to get the feel for it, where you stick that tongue out. Now try it with the mouth closed and just doing that exhalation through the nose. Feel that belly pumping in on the exhale. So that'll be our breath of fire. We're just going to do that for a few moments. And first, we're going to do that with the hands. We're going to take the thumbs to the index finger and bring the palms down so that they're in front. Nice stick straight arms. Go ahead and close the eyes down and focus the eyes into that third eye center. And then we'll begin with that breath of fire. This doesn't need to be super fast. Continue to move with your pace. You can slow it down, or you can speed it up. You just want that sharp pull into the belly, bringing that belly into spine, up and in. If you need to stop to catch your breath, go ahead and do so. And then just come right back to the breathing, that breath of fire. Stay tall on the spine. Just a couple more moments. Take a nice deep inhale in, hold it at the top. Exhale, part the lips and let it go. Keep the eyes shut down and just take a few breaths here. And then gentle the eyes open. Take a peek at me for a moment. We're going to continue with that breath of fire, but this time we're going to bring the hands at a 45-degree angle. First, take the palms, take the fingers into the palms, and that thumb is going to stay out, kind of like a Fonzie finger. And we're going to bring those hands to that 45-degree angle. So it's not above the head or not out in that T, it's at that 45 degree. That way we can get some drainage through the lymphs in the arms here. Whenever you're ready, close the eyes down and go back to that breath of fire again. That sharp exhale, bringing that navel in towards the spine. Find the rhythm that's working for you. So this is great for our abdominals, but it's also really good to clear out just any congestion in the lungs. And as I mentioned, we're clearing out that lymphatic system, having the arms at this 45-degree angle. Hanging out here for just a few more moments, keep that breath of fire going. Now the arms are getting tired, but hang in there with me. We've got this. Just a couple more moments. You've got this. Hang in there. On that next inhale, let's draw the thumbs together above the head. Thumbs meet, hold in that breath, pull up on that pelvic floor. Hold, retain the breath. And then on the exhale, release the palms, bring them all the way back down to the lap. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears and relax them down the back. Once again, shrug shoulders up towards the ears and then release them down. Close the eyes down. Just take a few moments to have a nice long deep breaths. Noticing where the energies flow. We want the moment to kind of settle those energies from that breath of fire. And when we're ready, go ahead and open the eyes back up. So you'll have to let me know how that feels, just that little pranayama. I always love how it just kind of wakes up the body and gets some energy moving. Let's get the body moving now, taking that chest over towards that right knee, guiding across to the middle and the left, and roll all the way up and through. Let's do that a few more times, dipping down, rolling through. Taking your time to start to move that Kundalini energy in the body and move through those hips and that lower back. Just a few more times in this direction. And the next time that we arrive up, let's switch directions and come around to the other side. Possibly taking it a little bit lower or using those palms to press the knees open just a little bit more. And then rotate all the way back up to seated. Take the hands above the head, grow tall in the spine. Then we're just going to find a little gentle movement here, kind of like those grinds that we were just doing, the Supi grinds. This time we're going to twist over towards the right side, dip the hands down and float them all the way across and around and back up. Let's do that again, finding that wave across the body and all the way up and through. Just once more in this direction. And then come back up tall and we'll reverse the direction. So turning towards that left side, float the hands down across the body and up. Again, waterfall down and back up. Last time, tipping down, around, and back up. Palms raise up for just a moment to find that length in the spine, and then release the hands down towards the earth. We're going to bring the soles of the feet down onto the earth, but keep the knees bent. Hands come behind the lower back, and just take a few moments to kind of pump that chest up and forward here. Just give it a little back bend, pressing firmly into the soles of the feet. Imagine as if we're on a beach right now, feeling the sunshine. And then go ahead and walk the hands up towards the legs. We're going to take those arms out into a YT and tip back. Take a moment to come around, hug onto the tops of the thighs and tuck the chin in towards the chest. Raising out of this little cave. Let's do that once again. So we're just going through this rotation of bringing the hands behind. Fingertips are facing towards the body and shine the chest up. Feel that strength in the arms as we press ourselves up. Walk the hands towards the body. Raise the hands up nice and tall. And then let's just tip back again, YT, tipping back, keep that little shake in the body. Guide the chest towards the knees, wrap the arms around the shins, and tuck into this little ball again. Send the breath all the way down to the tailbone. And really get that nice rounding as if we're a little ball here. Peeling the forehead back up. Take the palms around. We're just going to do this one more time. Hands come down onto the earth, and we can shine that chest up. If we want more of a challenge, we can find a reverse tabletop by bringing the hip points up. Or if you want to keep this a little lower to the ground and just have that chest shining here. Finding that level of challenge that you're looking for today. Walk the hands towards the body, raise the fingertips up tall, bring them out into that T and tip back. Finding that little shake in the body, strengthening core here. Use that core to pull yourself forward and go ahead and wrap the chin down in towards the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins. We're just going to spend a few moments here. Breathing deep. Let that head really be heavy and that chin come in towards the chest so we can get that traction in the head, that weight of the head, so we can get that traction and really release the back, the spine. One more breath. Now peeling the head back up. We're going to come around, bringing the legs around behind. Taking my blanket out of the way here. Bring those big toes to touch, knees nice and wide. And so we're just going to find a few hip circles before we come down into our child's pose. So just drawing some great big circles. Hips coming over to one side, then the other. By this nice stretch and opening into the inside groin as well as starting to work into those hips. And when we're ready, we'll go ahead and seat the hips down, those glutes down towards the heels. Walk the hands towards the front of the mat and melt down into a child's pose. And you can still take a few moments to kind of shift and adjust to get those hips down, to get that pelvis really down. And bring that thumb and that index finger into each other so that we create that diamond shape at the front of the mat. And we're working into releasing the spine. So really send that breath all the way down from the chest to the tailbone. Let's see if we can melt that heart down just a little bit more. Feeling the forehead from the mat, walking the hands underneath the shoulders, bring the knees underneath the hips. When we come into this tabletop position, let's just draw a few circles again in this direction, but this time we're in this tabletop position, really working to release any tight spots, and then shift the direction over to the other side. Feel that good stretch inside body as well as the hips. And then meet me back again in this tabletop position. Knees are stacked underneath the hips and the hands are underneath the shoulders. We're going to tilt that pelvis in towards the rib cage. And then just release it back towards the heels. Let's do that a few more times, just these little pelvic tilts, bringing that pelvis in towards the ribs. And then press back. Feel that yawning along the back of the sacrum area as we really poke that bottom back and then draw it back in. Just really working in that lower half of the body. And you can continue to find this rocking movement in the pelvis area, or if you would like, you can start to grow this by pulling that pelvis in, starting to round into the upper back, finding our cat pose. And then starting at the tailbone, reaching that bottom back towards the heels, releasing the belly down, feeling this good stretch in the obliques as we look up. Again, you can tilt in, starting at the tailbone, round. Really press the palms into the hands so you can round up just a little bit more. And then just to slowly release the hips back or that tailbone back, release the belly down, peek up towards the sky. And then meet me back again in that tabletop position. One more posture here. We're just going to bring the forearms down to the earth, right where those hands just were. And then we're going to do our melting heart pose, bringing the chest and the shoulders down towards the earth, but keep that tailbone up towards the sky. So this is our playful puppy or our heart melting pose. And you can really test this out a little bit by releasing the belly. So instead of bringing that belly to the spine, kind of let that belly Just hang there for a moment and notice how that helps you open up a little bit more in the back body. Peeling forehead up off of the earth. Walk those hands just in front of the shoulders. Tuck the toes underneath. And then hover the knees up off of the earth for just a moment in a hovering tabletop. And then bring those hip points up towards the sky. Straightening the legs and bringing heels down towards the earth. They're yearning in that direction, but may not come all the way down. And we're coming into this downward facing dog, feeling this full body stretch. Take a few moments to explore and play here a little bit too. Pedaling out the feet. Maybe coming side to side with a little twist. Nodding out the head. This is your time and your body, so find what feels really good for you. And when we're ready, go ahead and come into stillness. Taking in a nice deep inhale in. Part the lips and exhale it out. Step one foot to the front of the mat, and then the opposite foot to the front of the mat. And we're in a forward fold. Widen the feet a little bit wider than hip width. And just take a few moments to kind of shift side to side. Letting the head be heavy here. No tension in the neck at all. And take your time to slowly just kind of dance a little side to side, shifting side to side as we come up. Taking your time. Head and shoulders are last to arrive. And roll the shoulders out a few times. And keeping those feet nice and wide. I'm going to do a little bit more to release the spine. So taking the fingers together, or the thumbs I should say, taking the thumbs together and create this little butterfly. Raise the hands above the head. And then we're just going to sweep the fingers down and through, back a little bit behind the heels. Bend into the knees as we come back up. Find the pace that's working for you as we shift forward and roll up. When we come up, we find a back bend of your choice, how deep you want to go. Just a few more times with these miracle bends. The next time that we come up, go ahead and release the clasp of those thumbs and float the hands down to the side. Walk the feet to hip width apart. Inhale, grow tall, bring the hands up. Keeping that right hand lifted, bring that left hand down, and we'll stretch and reach in opposite directions. Go ahead and reverse that, bringing the opposite hand up as that right hand reaches and stretches towards the earth, and that left hand reaches skyward. Bring both hands up tall, and then cactus the heart open, bring those elbow points towards each other, but keep that lower half, that belly button and those lower ribs knitted in. Inhaling up, exhale, go ahead and float all the way down into our forward fold. Hands come to the shins and find a halfway lift. Melt down, fold. Again, halfway lift. Melting forward and down, fold. Half lift again. And down to fold. Place the hands onto the earth. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhaling in, Exhale, fold forward, come forward into plank. Hold for just a moment. Lower the knees down to the earth, and then lower the chest all the way down to the earth as well. Taking the hands out wide, elbows are up towards the sky. Widen the legs as well. And we're just going to bring the forearms down and very slowly raise up here. So this is a little back bend to strengthen the lower back, or to strengthen the entirety of the back, but it's not going to be that deep with the elbows out a little bit wider. Take a few breaths. Keep that chin tucked in towards the body so that we're not compromising the spine at all. Now walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. We're going to lift up a little bit higher now into this tall cobra. Tuck the toes underneath and bring the hip points back up skyward, downward facing dog. Go ahead and bring that right heel up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Make sure that we are not shifting over to that left side, that we're firmly pressing into both palms. Draw the knee in towards the chest and hold and hover here for a moment. Straighten the leg back long again, three-legged dog. Knee comes back in towards the chest. Now listen here carefully. We're going to step that right foot onto the outside of that right palm. Lower the left knee down to the earth. So now we're into this lizard here. And with this lizard, instead of just going into a long hold, we're just going to find a little bit of movement, rocking back and forth, maybe rolling those hips side to side. So finding that water element, that really juicy flow and move here. Coming into some stillness for a moment. I'm going to walk that left hand out a little bit wider. Bring that left knee up off of the earth. Raise up and take that right hand up and over. Nice big twist here. Release the palm down. It's still on the inside of that foot. Walk that left hand back underneath the shoulder. We're going to step that back foot up and on the outside of that hand. So both feet are on the outside of the hand, toes are facing out, and then we're going to squat down into our Malasana. If you need a block underneath the bottom, go ahead and set it there. If you need to stay tall, that's fine too, and you can just stay tall and find a little shifting movement here instead of sinking down into that yoga squat. If you are lowered down, go ahead and use those elbows to press the knees a little bit wider and bring those thumbs to the sternum. Where that tailbone's really heavy, as if we have a weight tied to it. So that tailbone is coming down, but we're still pulling up on that pelvic floor to keep the energy in the body. Taking a couple breaths. And if the heels do not come all the way down onto the mat, that's just fine. Now bring the hands back down onto the earth. We're on the inside of the legs still, and we're just going to slowly start to stand back up. Take the feet to face forward, and we're in our forward fold now. Halfway lift, flat back, melting forward, coming down. Bending the knees, sweeping up skyward. Grow tall in this tall mountain, and then gentle the palms into heart center. Feeling the effects of the practice on the body here for just a moment. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Keep that right foot forward. Left foot is going to step back, and we're going to find our warrior two with that right hand stretching and reaching forward. Setting up into this nice alignment here. And let's do a little dance here. So we're going to start with an extended side angle. Bring the chest forward towards that front bent knee. Cartwheeling that left or right hand down. Left hand comes overhead. Palm is facing down. Stretch and reach here. And then using your core strength, go ahead and come all the way back up. And then we're going to just right away go into our reverse warrior. So now that left hand is coming down to that extended leg, all the way down to the lower part of the leg, or to that lower back as we reach overhead behind now. Let's do that again. Come back again into our warrior two. Lean slightly forward, releasing that right hand down onto the inside of the thigh, and then take that palm facing down and overhead. Use that core strength to rise up and reverse our warrior. Now that right hand is coming up and overhead behind. Keep bending in that front knee. And come back again into our warrior two. Extended side angle. Come on up and over, reverse. Reversing our warrior. Back into warrior two. Let's just do this one more time. Extended side angle. Press all the way back up and through, and come back around. So, and come into this reverse warrior. Come back again with his arms into that T shape. Take the hands to the hips, pivot on that back toe, step it to the front of the mat. Inhale, fingertips float up. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive all the way down. Hands come to the shins, find a halfway lift. Melt back down into that fold. Plant the hands onto the earth, step back, downward facing dog. Hip points are up high. Inhaling in. Exhale into plank. Lower all the way down to the belly. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Press up into cobra. Tuck the toes. Raise the hips up. Downward facing dog. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. This time that left heel raises up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Keep pressing firmly into both hands. Both shoulders are staying square and we're not tilting over to the left side or to the right side. Knee comes in towards center. Hold and hover for a moment. Then extend long again into three-legged dog. Knee comes in towards center. Hold and hover. Then step that foot to the outside of that left hand. We're going to lower the right knee down to the earth. And then again, we're just going to kind of dance in and out of this lizard. Not holding super long into any posture. Just feeling the fluidity of the movement. Come forward, hold here for just a moment. And then we're going to tuck that back toe underneath, bring the knee up off of the earth. Walk that right hand off of the mat, then take that left hand up and over into this big twist. Slowly release the hand back down. Walk the right hand back underneath the shoulder. And then we're going to walk or just step that right foot to the outside of that right hand. So both hands are into the center. If you do not want to come down into yogi squat, you can just kind of stay tall here And just find this little movement, or maybe even hands on top of the knees. Or you can sink down and come into our Malasana. And again, it might feel good just to put a block underneath the bottom to give you a little extra support. Wherever you're at, keep breathing. Let that tailbone be heavy. Even though we're finding that opposition of pulling up on that pelvic floor. Go ahead and place the hands down onto the earth if you are in Malasana. Very slowly tilt forward and start to straighten the legs, bringing the legs, the 2 feet forward, legs at hip width apart. Melt down and hang here for just a moment in our forward fold. Halfway lift, melt back down. Bend the knees, sweep all the way up into our tall mountain. Now gentle the palms into heart center. Drawing a great big inhale in and an exhale out. This time that left foot stays forward, right foot's going to step back. We're going to come again into our warrior 2 on this side. Finding all that great alignment. Then we're going to do our little dance again. Shift forward. Release that right hand or left hand down. Right hand stretches and reaches overhead. Palm is facing down. Engage in the core to come all the way up and through. Cartwheeling now. That right hand to the lower back or lower leg, left hand overhead. Come back again into warrior 2. Lean forward and come into our extended side angle. Nice big powerful movement coming all the way up and around. Reverse the warrior. Warrior 2. Forward into our extended side angle. Use that strength to come all the way up, around, and back. Warrior 2. One more time, moving through this. Lean forward, come into our extended side angle. Palm is facing down, stretching and reaching. Keep bending in that front knee. Go ahead and cartwheel all the way up, bringing that hand to lower back or down that lower leg as that left hand reaches overhead. And then back again into warrior 2. Nice job. Hands come to the hips, pivot the toes, come into a wide stance. So now we're on that wide edge of the mat. Toes are facing forward. And go ahead and release all the way down into a forward fold. Toes might face in a little bit and heels out. Go ahead and walk the hands forward, find a halfway lift. Bend the elbows and melt down a little bit more into that fold. Halfway lift again. Bend the elbows, bring the forearms down towards the earth into that fold. One more time, halfway lift. Bend the elbows and come back down. Walk the right hand right below the face. Left hand reaches up skyward into a twist. Release that palm down, bringing that left hand right under face. Right hand reaches up into our twist. Release both palms down. Take the hands to the tops of the thighs, and then I want you to tip that tailbone down to round all the way up. Take your time to come to standing. Zip the legs together and meet me at the front of the mat. Inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive all the way down into that forward fold. Plant the hands onto the earth, step back. Last time, downward facing dog. Bend the knees and release the knees down to the earth. Go ahead and come on though down to the bottom here. We're gonna go into a couple of those deeper stretches into our yin portion of this practice. To start with, if you'd like to, you can use this blanket to sit on the edge of it. This is always nice if you sit on the very edge of your blanket, kind of brings those hips up a little bit higher than the knees. I'm going to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the side, coming into this little butterfly movement. You'll notice that further away from the body is a different sensation than having the hips closer to the body. Kind of shift and adjust here, flap those butterfly wings. We're going to start to slow the breath down. And then when we're ready, we're going to find a fold here. So this is a passive fold. So allow the head to be heavy and the rounding to occur in the back. You might even want to turn the palms up skyward so that we can remind ourselves not to hold and grip or to press down. Tucking chin in towards the chest. Slowing the breath down. So instead of trying to help or trying to resist, just allow gravity to soften you and to let you go in a little bit deeper. And just a few more moments of those long, deep breaths. Sink in just a little more. Release just a little bit more. Walk the hands underneath the shoulders and take your time. Really use those hands to support you to come back up to seated. When you come back up with that spine tall, just take a moment, close the eyes down, and feel the after effect of what the posture is doing for the body. Gentle the eyes open. Now we're going to snuggle the right foot in towards the left groin area right here, or the inside of that leg area. And we're going to take that left leg out, extended long, out to the side. We're kind of turned out to the side a little bit. Sorry, I got a little yin out, a little zen out in that last posture. So I'm still up on this blanket. That's entirely up to you if you want to be as well. And again, we're not looking for this really deep, super deep stretch into the back of the leg as much as we're going to look for a twist and just look for some relaxation into our yin posture on the leg and hip area here. So turn the torso slightly towards that extended leg. Let's bring those arms up nice and tall. And then we're just going to melt and drape down here. I'm not looking to take my hand all the way to the foot. I'm actually going to relax down, turning my palms up skyward again. This is another area that you could use those blocks if need be to kind of place the forearms on top of, allowing the back to round. Seeing if we can keep that right sit bone down onto the earth. Resisting the urge to bring the shoulders up towards the ears. Keep reminding them to stay down and away. Chin is tucked in towards the chest. Here for 3 long, deep breaths. Turn the palms back down. We're going to use those hands to support the body as we slow press up to seated. Taking that extended leg, we're going to cross that leg over the right thigh. So coming into a twist here, bringing the sole of the foot of that left foot down. I think I might have said the wrong side. We're bringing it over that right leg. So left foot is down onto the earth. And then we're just going to twist and turn over towards that left side. So belly is up against the thigh. And I'm using that right hand or that right elbow to kind of bring that knee in towards the chest. Left hand is behind the spine, then peeking over that back shoulder. Taking a few moments in this twist. Just find a little counterbalance. And also giving those internal organs a nice squeeze and hug. Unwind back around to center and release from this twist. Take the legs out long, give them a little shake and roll out, getting blood flow back into the legs. Just noticing how the body feels. And now we're going to go ahead and do that on the opposite side. So taking the foot to the inside of the thigh, taking that left foot in, right leg is extended out long into that V shape. Turning the torso over so that we're facing that extended leg. Raise the fingertips up and then melt down, coming down. Again, I'm not looking to take the hand all the way to the feet. I'm allowing it to rest right here alongside the shin, or maybe even a little bit higher, bringing it by the thigh. You can use those blocks under forearms. Sending a little reminder to that left sit bone to stay down, grounded onto the earth. Sending a little reminder to the shoulders that they're not invited to this party. Keep them away from the ears. Sending that breath all the way down to the lower half of the body. Asking yourself here, what can you soften and release? 2 more nice, deep, long inhales and exhales. Turn the palms to face the earth and take your time to walk all the way back up, turning torso to stack back above in the center. Now we're going to draw that right foot in, crossing it over the top of that left thigh. Shift and adjust. Taking a hold of that left knee with that right knee with that left hand, left elbow, and twist over towards that right side. The breath might feel a little restricted here, but see if you can send the breath to the belly so you feel the rise and the fall of the belly against the thigh. And see if you can keep that right toe down on the earth, both sit bones onto the earth. We're here for just a few more moments. Notice the sensations in the body. And then slowly unwind all the way back around. Release the cross of the legs. Give them a little paddle out. And then we're going to utilize that prop that you have handy. I'm taking my blanket and I'm going to roll it. So I have this nice, good size, almost like a couch cushion size, or you can try it out with it rolled this tight. And then if it feels like it's too much, you can take a roll out of it. What we're going to do is we're actually going to work a little bit into our belly. And our belly is an area that we do hold a lot of tension in because we always think about sucking it in or just from stomach issues, things like that. So this is really good for digestion, and it's also just nice to have a little partial release in the belly, something that we don't do very often. So I'm going to take this blanket and I'm just going to come down onto this rolled up blanket. And it's right there along my belly button line. And you're going to think, wow, this is a really different sensation. Like you might feel a little pulsing in the belly, or might feel a little bit of a heartbeat in there. And if it's too intense, go ahead and take one of those rolls out and just make that blanket a little less intense. You can stay right here on the forearms. Or if you would like to, you can create a little pillow for the head with the hands stacked on top of each other. And then relax the head down. And again, if this feels too intense, just take one of those rolls out. And adjust that blanket. We don't want it on the ribs. We don't want that taking the breath away in the rib cage area. And see if you can rest and relax in the sensation. When the rise and the fall of the belly against the prop. Relax the facial muscles. Remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And just do a little body scan. Check and see if you're holding tension anywhere in the body. 2 more long, deep breaths. Take your time to take the head up off of the earth. Walk the hands underneath the shoulders and press back into a kneeling position for just a moment. Just want you to take a moment to digest, get it from where in the belly, to digest the feelings from that hold. Now we're going to take that prop and we're going to utilize it for our last bit for our Shavasana time, but this is a little bit different. This is a reverse Shavasana. So I'm taking this blanket down a little bit further, this blanket roll, and I'm going to bring it along, just along top of my hip flexor area. So it's just right across kind of that pubic bone area and that hip flexors, that front of the hip flexors. And then again, kind of move around so that you can feel this comfortable position that you're going to hold for a little bit longer. Maybe shift the hips around, wiggle them. And then come on back down onto those forearms, or maybe even just take the arms out into a cactus shape and rest the forehead or rest the cheek down onto the mat. Turn the toes inward and the heels out to the side so we can really release any tension in that lower back. So this area of the body that we have that prop on is in our front hip flexors that are responsible for so much. They're responsible for all of our forward movement, our walking, our biking, our yoga, just so much. And so it's so nice to give it a few moments to really nourish that area and give it a little bit of extra love and attention there. Take your time to really deepen the breath. Giving yourself permission to just float here and let go. And deepening the breath even more. Straighten the legs back out if you have the knee or the heels to the side. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And take your time to slowly, slowly, slowly press yourself back up. Move slow. And meet me once again in our seated position. Press the hands together at the heart. Let's close our practice today with one Om. You're welcome to join in or just let the vibrations wash over you. First inhale and exhale out. Inhale for Om. Inhale. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your energy and your practice. Have a fantastic rest of your day. My heart to your heart. Namaste.